Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday, y'all. Hello, everybody. Hope you all have had a wonderful Thursday so far. Y'all know my Thursday has been good. God is good. I cannot complain. And I'm excited to be back here one more time with another good testimony. Now, y'all got to admit, these testimonies have been phenomenal. These testimonies have been nothing short of amazing. They have been a whole blessing. So I hope y'all are enjoying them. I thank y'all for sharing the testimonies every single week. These are testimonies that women, men, children, adults, they need to hear it. So I thank God for it. I love it. I love it. That's all I can say is I love it. So thank you to everybody who has joined so far. Thank you. You all, whether you joined on Facebook, whether you joined on YouTube, thank y'all so much. Y'all know I appreciate y'all. Again, happy Thursday. I hope everybody had a wonderful day. I hope you all have had a wonderful week. Hello, everyone. And I hope you all are ready for Miss Charlondria's testimony tonight. I call her Nikki. That's her nickname. So if y'all hear me say Nikki throughout, I'm still talking to Charlondria. So praise the Lord, everybody. I see you all in the comment section. Hello. I thank God for each and every one of you. While I wait on a few more people to join us tonight, y'all know what I'm finna say. Y'all go ahead and hit the share button so some more people can see that Women Who Rise, we are live tonight. We're live on YouTube, y'all. We are live on Facebook. So go ahead and hit the share button because I got a feeling that Miss Nikki's testimony is going to be that good. So go ahead and share so some more people can see and hop on and come on and share and hear whatever encouragement awaits us out of Miss Charlondria's testimony. And I'm gonna give about 30 more seconds before I go ahead and bring her on screen with us tonight. Thank you all. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody who sent stars. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. And I hope you all are doing well tonight. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on screen so we can go ahead and get her testimony. Everybody, y'all know there is our guest for tonight. Like I said, the beautiful, the lovely, my good friend, y'all. Let me mention that. My good friend, Miss Charlondria Turner. Y'all already know. Let's go ahead and give her a great big hand clap. Let's go ahead and give her a great big Women Who Rise welcome tonight. Just to say, I told him I was going to call you Nikki because that's what I'm used to calling you. Just to say, Nikki, thank you so much for taking out the time out of your busy schedule to come on Women Who Rise and to share your testimony tonight. We are all excited. I told you I'm excited. I'm excited every week. I never know what my guests are going to testify about. I never ask in advance what they're going to testify about. But y'all, when I say God never fails us, the wisdom that he gives these women of God to share their story, their testimonies, I love it. And it's always so beneficial. So Nikki, let me calm down a little bit and ask you, how are you doing on this Thursday evening?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm so happy to have you on to share your testimony with us tonight, y'all. We've been trying to coordinate this one for a while, so our schedules finally aligned, and she's here with us tonight, and I'm grateful to have you. Nikki, is there anything you would like to say? Thank you. Anything you would like to say to greet our viewers before we get your testimony?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for viewing tonight. I hope that my testimony blesses you and leaves you with something that you can carry with you on a day-to-day basis.
I like that, y'all. We like stuff we can carry on a day-to-day basis. We don't want that watered down stuff that, we hear for 10 seconds and then it's gone. She gonna give us something to stick to our ribs tonight, y'all. So I hope y'all ready for it. Again, if you are new to this channel, we are Women Who Rise, y'all. I'm your host, Tiara Randall. That's me over there. And for all of you who are not familiar with the podcast, I have a different woman of God, y'all, every Thursday sharing their testimony of how God simply blessed them to rise. And I say every week that our sole purpose is to let somebody know that if God blessed us to rise, if he brought us out, if he carried us through, he can do the exact same thing for you. The same God that loves me, the same God that loves Nikki is the same God that loves you. So we're here every Thursday, 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. So whenever you can, y'all be sure to join us. And as I forestated tonight, our special guest is the lovely, the classy Miss Charlondria Turner, y'all. And she's going to tell us how God blessed her to rise. So let me go ahead and get started because I'm excited. Nikki, I always start out every week to all of my guests with the first question of, when you first hear the words, Women Who Rise, what's the first thing that pops up in your head when you hear those three words?
When I hear it, the first thing that pops up is upward movement. Yeah, I feel like because in order to rise, you had to at some point be in a low place.
Right.
So right. I feel like a woman making a conscious decision daily to face to no matter what she's facing, no matter what adversity she's been through, making that conscious decision to wake up every day, put one foot in front of the other and live.
Come on. Yes, I love it. And we've heard that so many times here on the podcast that rising is a daily choice. You know, you have to make every day you wake up. There's people say all the time, new levels on new devils. You can rest assured every day you wake up, there's a devil out there. And he got a whole new set of goals. If he couldn't get you to fail yesterday, guess what? Today he's coming again. So that's why we have to make the conscious decision every single day that we wake up. I'm gonna rise. And not only that, I'm gonna live. I love how you said that. Let me go to my next question, Nikki. And this is my favorite question. I love getting to this question because this is where the testimony comes in at. When you look back over your life, of course, being a woman yourself, and I say so often that as women, we go through, Lord have mercy, we go through so much. We all have so many testimonies that we could share. Some we probably can't share publicly, only share with maybe 1 or 2 people, but then there's some we can. So, when you look back over your life, can you share with us a time where you came to your defining moment? And I say so often that could be a positive, time in your life, or it could be a negative time. But can you share with us a time where you came to that defining moment, that pivotal moment in your life, that fork in the road? And I said before, we faced those things that it took us there. And we're like, okay, Lord, what am I going to do? Am I going to stay in this place? Or am I going to do something about it? Am I going to choose to rise? So can you share with us a time where you came to that time in your life? And not only that, how did you choose to rise?
Yes, I'm going to share one of the hardest trials of my life. Being a saved woman, a failing marriage that led to divorce. Now, I know this subject is taboo. It's an unfortunate reality.
Right.
Because I definitely didn't get married to divorce.
Right.
I'm definitely going to be transparent because you can't properly address and rise from anything if you don't identify it.
That's it.
So I do want to say this. I'm not here to run anyone's name in the mud. I don't delight in that because when you do those type of things, you're not rising. You haven't grew yet. So that's definitely not the case.
Right.
But here we go. Here I am. I'm 38 now, so I'm a young woman.
Right.
I'm a young woman. I'm married. I'm living in a marriage where every wedding vow was falling to the ground. They were falling to the ground. Being saved, having a relationship with God, being raised in a Christian home, attending a holiness church. I understood the seriousness of being married and being a good wife. There were moments when I doubted myself as a woman as a wife because I was being dishonored and I was giving 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we go through things and we question ourselves as a woman. And I've always been someone that I have always been confident in who I was. But in that moment, I was questioning myself. I remember ordering a book from Amazon, and it was good. Becoming the godly wife that your husband needs. I remember ordering this book. I read the book. I was trying to do everything that I could because I loved my husband. In spite of, I loved him and I understood the seriousness of marriage. In the midst of all of that, I remember God had started waking me up early in the mornings, like really, really early. And I'm not a morning person. And the Spirit of the Lord was telling me to pray, waking me up, telling me to pray. It started happening almost every morning. I would be cooking and cooking dinner, and the Lord would be pulling on me, go and pray. He was calling me to a life of intercessory prayer. Before then, I would pray, but it was like 15, 20 minutes. Right. But God was calling me to the secret place. Because even now, after that, I knew, God was preparing me for the journey, what I was about to go through. Right. It was in the secret place where I would go and I would cry to God. Early on in my marriage, sometimes, something would happen and I just, I'm finna, you gonna get this telling, that's what I would do. But you know what? When your heart is pure and it's genuine, and I start praying, God started speaking to me, and he's beautiful for every situation. He started giving me the wisdom on how to deal with things. Listen, my response started being prayer. When something would happen and I would get upset, I would literally hush. I had a holy hush. I would hush and I would go and I would pray. I remember one night I was praying, and we had hardwood floors, and I didn't want to be down there that long. So I had a prayer chair that I would use, and I would pray and I would talk to God. And I remember one night I had been praying well over an hour, and I was getting ready to walk out of my bedroom, and the Spirit of God hit me so heavy. It's like the Spirit of God just whirled me around. And I just end up back in my prayer chair. And while the Spirit of God started speaking to me, I just started, crying, praying in the Holy Ghost. Sometimes when we don't, make an intercession, when you don't know what to pray for with moanings and groanings, and I just started praying. And the Spirit of God started speaking to my spirit. And I remember God telling me to write it down. I got a pad and I started writing. And the Spirit of God told me, as long as you obey me, as long as you stay obedient, I will take care of you all the days of your life. Whew.
Yes.
God is so good. And we're going to tie this together. I remember another day I was praying. I had been going through things. Things would happen. Things would pop up. Forgiving, having a forgiving heart. And I remember I was going through one night and I was praying. And I remember God told me, either I'm going to change it, or I'm going to remove it. Listen, I stood on that. I stood on that. God told me to take my hands off, stop trying to fix stuff. You can't fix people. If God can't fix them, you can't fix them. You can give all of your resources, all of your love, everything. You cannot fix a person. Only God can change a person. Nothing you can do.
That's right.
No amount of money, nothing, gifts, nothing you can do can fix a person. Only God can fix them. And if God don't fix them, they won't get fixed.
That's it.
They won't get fixed. So I remember a hurtful situation came up, very hurtful. And at this point, naturally, I was tired. I was broken. And if anybody know me, I am a very bubbly, happy person.
Right.
I'm always laughing, but I was so broken. I was so tired. And I remember I went and I talked to my pastor, and I have a man of God indeed. Um, I went to him and I told him exactly how I felt. I said I was tired. I told him, if I have to live like this, I'll just be single I'd rather be single the rest of my life than to live like this. And I remember he didn't give me the response I wanted because I felt entitled. I felt like something else should have been said. But I remember him telling me that if you give a no good man enough rope, he'll hang himself. Now, at that time, I didn't want to hear that because I felt like, okay, enough rope, that could be another 5 or 10 years,
Right.
But I trust God. And that's one thing I learned. I trust God. And I went on still loving, still doing what I was supposed to do. And that's one thing. I still did what I was supposed to do as a wife, because at the end of the day, I never wanted it to be said that I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So I still did. Even when I felt like used, I still did it. But I remember at the ending of that year, at the beginning, around about March, 1 week before moving in a larger living space, and 1 week after my 6-year anniversary, he left. It was on a Friday. Left. I remember going to church that night. One thing I never did was I didn't share my business, what was going on in my home, with anyone. The things I was going through, as close as I am to my sisters, they did not know all the things that I was going through. I didn't share that. I prayed. Because at the end of the day, people have opinions and God make promises. So I went to church that night. My sister, not knowing anything, my sister Crystal, she's a minister, not knowing anything, she preached a message that night. You won't see this again.
Come on.
She preached that night. You won't see this again. Not knowing anything. I that weekend, that Sunday, 2 days later, I got a text message saying, I'm coming to get my stuff. This is indefinite. This is it.
Wow.
So I was left alone here. People were worried about me because moving into a larger living space, that's more financial responsibility. But you know what? I had to remind them I'm good, because basically this is what I had been doing anyway. So I'm good. God made me a promise.
Yes.
I had God in the promise. So I was good. You see? So at this point, Jesus rescued me.
Come on.
I didn't, he rescued me. He left. At this moment, he rescued me.
Testify.
Listen.
Testify.
I didn't need anything that the enemy was offering in my vulnerability, because of God in that promise. Jesus. Listen, the only weight that I had, the weight and shame that sat on me, was the fact that I thought to myself, when people ask me questions, what was I gonna respond?
Right.
So that was the big thing I had. And then, when you're a saved woman and you come out of such a holiness church, Bible believing, you thinking to yourself, what are these people gonna think? Because I never shared what all I was going through. People wouldn't have knew, So, but God handled that too. He promised me that he would take care of me. On social media, hard facts were posted.
Wow.
And Listen, and what to people seemed like shame was really God fighting for me. He was vindicating me because I never had to say a word. I never had to explain anything to anybody
Yes.
because what I was going through and the things that I had gone through were put up publicly and not by me.
Mm.
So see, Jesus rescued me. He rescued me out of that, Tiara. I remember laying in my bed crying because I could not imagine life in the next 5 years in the situation that I was in. But God,
Yes.
He fought for me and He rescued me. He rescued me because I yielded my life over to prayer.
That's right.
I stopped leaning to my own understanding. I closed my mouth. I hushed. And for some of us, that's a hard thing to do. But I started literally, I was leaning and depending on God to navigate me through that situation. And you know what He did? Don't get me wrong, I'm not gloating in divorce or
Right.
anything like that. But God navigated me right out of that situation. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Yes.
He rescued me, literally. That is my testimony.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I prayed my way out of that,
Come on.
literally.
I love it. Oh my God. You said so many. And let me just say, I want to commend you because having, a platform like this, one would think this would be a perfect opportunity to come on and vindicate themselves or, tell their side of the story the way they want it to be told or the way they want people to perceive it. But the wisdom that you have used tonight, the level of classiness, and that's what classy women do. We take the high road, the devil will,
Exactly.
Opportunity, and I'm sure this, opportunities have come for you to share, your story and to bash or to tear somebody else down in order to make yourself look better, although, you didn't have to do that. So, and you didn't take I don't feel like you took any opportunities to do that. You could have did that tonight on this platform, but the fact that you took the high road speaks to your character. It speaks to, the woman of God that God has made you to be. So let me say that, number one, I commend you. I applaud you let me say it again, the level of classiness that you have taken tonight. Because I know it's some women out there that say, oh, I'm finna be on Women Who Rise. I'm going to tell who they're going to hear the truth tonight. I'm going to tell my side of the story. And a lot of times it's not always about telling your side of the story.
Right.
Let me say that again. It's not always about telling your side of, maybe you were wronged. Maybe somebody did wrong you. Maybe they did something horrible. It's not always about getting your point across. And like Nikki said, when you yield in prayer and you just let God fight for you, you don't have to worry about telling your side of the story. You ain't got to worry about, I'm gonna fight for myself. And a lot of times we want to fight for ourselves. We want to defend ourselves, especially as women. And we just be honest. Mm-hmm. We feel like we're entitled to, you did me wrong. You finna feel my wrath. A woman scorned. Oh, you finna know what it's like to deal with a woman that's been scorned. You break my heart. I'm finna go break your heart. So, but y'all, when you let God fight for you, like Nikki said, she didn't have to, go on social media and post about it. She didn't have to go around telling everyone her, what happened. But look what God will do for you when you let him. And I love how you talked about how you were yielding when God kept pulling you to pray. Yeah. And I wanna, highlight that because a lot of times when God is calling us to pray and it's not our normal prayer time, or it's not the normal length of prayer that we normally take, it's for a reason.
Right.
He's preparing us for something that's down the line. We may not understand it right now. God, I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I don't get up this early to pray. But if he's doing it, he's trying to strengthen us. He's trying to prepare us because he sees what's coming down the road. He sees what's going to happen. And he knows, okay, she going to need this strength. She going to need every one of these prayers.
Every last one of them.
And while you were talking, I thought to myself, well, I thought to myself, what would have happened if Nikki would have, been like, this ain't the Lord calling me to pray. This the devil don't want me to get my rest. What if you would have just completely ignored the voice of God telling you to pray? Your whole response to the situation would have been totally different, and you would have ended up making it worse than what it was. So y'all, listen, if God is, and I had to write that down, if you feeling God pulling on you or drawing you deeper in prayer, you may not see it right now, what it's for. You may feel like you already prayed up. You may feel like, God, I pray a lot anyway, hey, a little bit more prayer don't hurt nobody. It ain't gonna hurt you. And, I found out that, you'll look back and say, oh, well, this is why God had me to pray. You may have to go into work 2 weeks from now and deal with a devil that ain't never been on your job before. God is telling you to pray today, because 2 weeks later, you're going to look back and say, oh, that's why he had me to get up at 5 a.m. and pray. I was going to run into a devil today. Yeah. So I love it. Like I said, Nikki, you say it so much, and I can't wait to post your points on Facebook, your key points on Facebook tomorrow. But let me ask you this question. I know you said that, while, you were in the thick of it, you didn't really talk to anybody or share, and that's wisdom alone. I've heard so many times you can't always have a lot of people in your marriage or in your business, because everybody have different opinions, different factors that could affect what's going on. But was there any individual that you could confide in, that had that godly counsel and wisdom to give you?
Yes. When I would, speak to someone, sometimes I would speak to my pastor. My pastor, which is my father, and he would give it to me as a pastor. It was, he didn't take sides. Right. He was going to always, give it to me the way that I needed it. And then my oldest sister, I remember after the break, after splitting, one day, heaviness came all over me. And I always call her. That's my spiritual, that's me and her, we're going to talk. Our conversations are great. We're going to spiritual, Bible, that's my girl. And I remember calling her, and I started sharing with her, and I told her, I said, out of all this, I said, there hadn't been no crying, I ain't been falling over the wall, they ain't been doing none of that, I ain't been falling. But I said, today I am so heavy because I'm sitting here thinking, and I feel like I've been used, lied to, and manipulated. And my sister told me something, and it picked me right on up. She said, no, Nikki. She said, you were being a good wife.
Right.
You weren't being used. She said, you were doing what you're supposed to do. You were being a good wife. And that blessed me. There was a lot of times she would text me. She didn't even know what was going on. But that's why it's so important to have people around you that are in the spirit. She would text me things. She would text me, God gonna bless you. God gonna do this. God do that. Listen. And see, I'm getting off on a tangent. After that happened, when I tell you, God blew my mind when God said that he would take care of me, Tiara. Listen, my job was giving bonuses and money and raises. God took care of Miss Nikki. Do you hear me? Yes. Do you hear me? God is so good. The promises of the Lord in him is yes and amen. If God say it, you can definitely stand on it. I'm living my blessed life.
Oh, I love it. There's absolutely no way you can do everything God told you to do, and you come out with the short end, or you come out, you get the short end of the stick or whatever. There is no way that God will let one of his own go lacking when you have done his will, obeyed his every commandment. There's just, I can't see the God I serve doing that. You were obedient in prayer. You did everything he told you to do. You held up your end, of the bargain. You kept your marital vow. You did what you were supposed to do. So God had nothing else to do but take care of you,
Good.
Jesus promised he would take care of me. That's the song that just came to my head. All I have to do is live right and believe in what he said.
Listen.
I love it. God is amazing. I mean, yes. And I love how you pointed out, and that's been pointed out so many times on this platform, having people around you who are in the spirit, friends, even family members who know how to pray, who know how to hear from God, and who know how to intercede on your behalf. Because no doubt when you called your sister that day, she could have took that opportunity to say, yeah, you were used. You were wrong. You got a right to feel like this and da-da-da-da, but no.
Listen, I would have been cutting up.
She gave it to you straight and said, no, ma'am, we're not even going to take that attitude today, Right. And she said, no, you were a good wife, period, point blank. You were a good wife. Okay, let's move on. So, y'all, like we said before, we need those type of friends, siblings, people in our life. When we call them and we're in a low place, by the time I get off the phone with you, I shouldn't still be in that low place. I'm just saying, I need you to say something to me because you're in the spirit. You're ready at that moment to say something because I called you for a reason. Had I not called you, y'all see what I'm trying to say? I called you for a reason. So I need you to have a spiritual response to my natural situation, these feelings that the enemy has put on me. So y'all, and like I said, we've said it so many times, if you do not have, you need those type of friends. If you look at your circle of friends and they're all carnal, can't not one of them deposit nothing spiritual in you. When you call on them, they ain't got nothing spiritual to say. They agree with you in your folly. Find yourself a new circle of friends.
It's life and death that you have friends that are spiritual.
It's just that serious, you ain't got to kick them to the curb all hard and but you girl, you flesh, get away from me. No, you can subtly, assess and reassess the circle of friends that you have. Are they pouring? That's a whole nother topic that we on. But amen. It's important to have. It's important for your spiritual growth. It's important when you find yourself in a low place and you're needing to rise. You need those people who can pick you up. Ooh, we went off on a tangent, but God is good, y'all. Let me ask you this question, Nick. This is so good, and I'm glad you chose to share this testimony, and I'll pick back up on this part at the end. But let me ask you this question, Nikki. What would be and this is another one of my favorite questions. What would be your advice tonight to the individual, not just female, but males as well, who may be in that same place to where, I guess this is a two-part question, to where number one, they're dealing with the after effects of a divorce. And at the same time, we know the enemy tries to bring that embarrassment and that shame that comes from being divorced, especially in the church, so he tries to bring that extra embarrassment. Right. He wants us to feel like we failed somewhere just because we got divorced and we're saved. So what would be your advice to that individual tonight?
Number one, and I know to some people it may seem cliche, but praying. And I'm talking about getting in the secret place. But I think I posted on social media a few days ago that it's in the secret place where we find deliverance. And where God speaks to us and he speaks to our spirit. Getting in the secret place, because that's where God gave me the wisdom on how to deal with the situation that I was going through. It was in the secret place. Literally, that's where I had to cry. That it was in the secret place. So that's number one. Get in the secret place. Allow God to fight for you. Even when sometimes we feel entitled, to feel a certain way, we've been offended. You gotta let God fight. And I know, sometimes people don't want to hear that. They don't, because a lot of times people will say, and I don't want to hear you say, go pray.
Right.
But you know what? When I see that, I instantly think this is a person that really don't understand the power of prayer.
Oh, yes.
Listen. So that, you have to, it's hard. I know it's hard, but you sometimes in instances like that, when you've been in church and you're saved and you're going through divorce, you have to forget about people. When you know that you know, and that's any situation, when you know that you know what happened, no, God will vindicate you. Whether it's a month, 2 months, or a year, you just have to allow God to be God, and you literally have to live your life.
That's it. That's it.
You literally have to live your life.
I love it. I love it. And I thank you for just pointing out, like you said, it may sound cliche, but the power of prayer. So powerful. And I'm glad you said a lot of people, they don't want to hear the response. You know, don't tell me to go pray about it. I already prayed about it. I don't want to pray. No, y'all, like she said, when you understand the power that is in prayer, it may sound, like she said, cliche or something so simple, but yet the Bible declares that the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man, it availeth much. You, like she said, you may not even see the results of your prayer or what it's doing right now. But rest assured, your prayers are working for you. If you are saved, you got the Holy Ghost, and you know God hears your prayers are working for you. Even when you can't, see it right now that they're working, your prayers are working for you. So, and I'm glad you also said, let God fight for you.
Yes.
So often like I said, we want to get in there. We want to put our dukes up, and we ready to go. And we feel like we entitled to do so.
We do. And
fine, said the Lord.
That, and when you as a woman, when you go through traumatic experiences and things like that, when you allow God to work for you, when you allow him to fight for you, your worth as a woman maximizes.
Come on.
It maximizes. You know what, Tiara? And this is something else that I feel is very important.
Go ahead.
As well. And I want to share this. I had, even after what I went through, I had a moment where I thought to myself, Nikki, even in the midst of this situation, what could you have done better?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And for me, that was accountability and that was growth. I rise. You see, I'm growing in this, and sometimes I think because I don't, they did this to me, but no, we're gonna, what could we have done better? As a woman, what could we have done better? And that is how I rise. When you allow things to grow you, and take accountability, as accountability for your actions. Hey, I rise.
Right.
So, yeah, I just wanted to share that because I think it's very important for people when you go through traumatic experiences, because no matter what it is, I feel like you should grow in some form or fashion. You should grow, grow in wisdom, grow in knowledge. Hey, so, moving forward, hey, so that, to me, that's very important.
Yes, I love it. I'm just applauding you, Listen, y'all, if you can, I'm trying to word it right, because the way you even delivered your testimony tonight, Nikki, speaks volume. It speaks volume. And I feel like so many women need to see it, because, unfortunately, majority of the time, all we see is the negative side of how a woman has handled the traumatic experience, what she did afterwards, how she got even, and all this kind of stuff. So I feel like women everywhere need to see how you can gracefully go through a divorce in the church. It doesn't have to be as ugly as people has made it out to be. So yes. I applaud just your whole delivery of your testimony. And I can't even say that I've seen you, over the years on social media, bashing, tearing down. And I've seen women post pictures of their ex and say all kind of, I've never seen you do that. I've seen women do that, unfortunately, and it brought their character down in my head. So it speaks to your level of maturity, your growth. because I'm sure there were opportunities to do so, but you took the high road. And this is what women need to see. Men too, how you can go through a dramatic experience and you can go through it gracefully. Right. Of course, you said you had a day where you cried or you felt heavy about it. You're human and that's going to happen, But y'all, if you're going through a dramatic experience, look at Nikki's testimony. And,
the glory.
If you're going through divorce and you're in church and, you're feeling the effects of it, God can still bless you to go through with grace, because Nikki is a living testimony that it can be done. So I love it. I'm in awe tonight, y'all. Look at what God can do when you yield in prayer, when you yield yourself, when you obey his voice. And when I say, y'all, Miss Charlondria has a beautiful life. Beautiful life. I admire your level of confidence, but yet you have a level of humility. And if you know her, you know that she's humble. She's not boastful. She doesn't brag about herself. So, and I like them kind of people, y'all. I do. Every time I see her, I make sure to go, and yeah, I love it. So thank you, Nikki, for sharing your testimony.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being transparent.
You're welcome.
You came on here, you kept it real. You kept it real and you kept it classy. Y'all, y'all audience, viewers, y'all know what I'm going to say. I don't even have to ask if you enjoyed this testimony. I know you did. So I'm going to say, let's go ahead and give her a great big round of applause. Clap your hands for Miss Nikki tonight for your transparency, your humility, and your honesty. And I love at the end how you closed it out with saying have accountability, how you thought to yourself, what could I have done? What did I do everything I was supposed to do? So in everything, and we have to have accountability on both parts. So thank you for adding that in there, so I appreciate it. Yes, y'all give Nikki a great big hand clap. Oh, I love it. I just knew it was going to be good, and it was extra sweet. Just the classiness of it made it extra sweet. So, and that's how our God is. He's a high class God. Our God never takes the low road, so we don't have to take the low road, Regardless of the situation or what has happened, God can bless you to maintain your level of excellence.
That.
And I love in Full Gospel how we say excellence pursued, holiness personified. That's not just in the house. That's not just in the house of God. That could be, your life motto in your marriage, in your friendship, on your job. Excellence pursued and holiness personified. So let me stop because I'm getting happy over here. God is a good God. I want to say thank you to all of the viewers tonight. If you're viewing on Facebook, if you're viewing on YouTube, if you're going to come back and view or watch the replay at a later time, thank y'all so much for viewing tonight. If you have not done so, y'all go ahead and hit the share button. This testimony right here, people need to hear it. Men and women both, in the church, outside of the church, they need to hear it. Divorce is not the end of your life.
It's not.
It's not the end of your life. As long as you have God, you still have life, so it's not the end of your life. So make sure y'all hit the share button. So I guarantee you, whether we know it or not, somebody else is going through what Nikki did. Somebody is in a marriage and they're fighting on the inside. It's something going on that we cannot see. We're not supposed to see it unless God revealed it to us anyway. But I guarantee you, somebody is in a marriage right now and they need this testimony. So whether they're male, female, they need it. So y'all hit the share button so somebody else can, oh my God, hear this testimony tonight and they can be encouraged to rise. Regardless of what the outcome is going to be, they need to hear this testimony, like Nikki said, to have their own accountability so they can pray and realize, oh, those nudges I've been getting, that's been God calling me to pray. So yeah, y'all go ahead and share it. I'm excited. I love it. God is a good God. Thank you again, Nikki, for your welcome. It takes courage to, I call them those touchy subjects. So it takes courage to share those parts of our lives that were dramatic, emotional, and very private. So thank you for sharing it with us. And for just, like I said, love the classiness. I'm stuck on that, y'all. It takes class to share those type testimonies and, not go off on a tangent, bashing anybody or tearing anybody else down. So you showed us how to do it tonight, Nikki, and I'm grateful for it.
Y'all pray for me.
Yes, ma'am. I love you. We love you. And I thank you for it. Again, thank you to everybody who has watched tonight, everybody who shared the flyer. You all know we will be back next week. We're out of town for right now, but we will be back on next week. I have a beautiful young woman that will be sharing her testimony with us. Y'all know I love having young women share their testimony because you can rise regardless of your age. So y'all know I will post a flyer on Monday on social media of who our guest for next week is going to be. But until then, I love y'all. Y'all take the high road. Yes. I'm going to leave y'all with that tonight. If you don't remember nothing else, pray and take the high road. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of those. So we love y'all. We love you, Charlondria. Again, thank you for being our guest tonight and sharing your beautiful testimony. I love each and every one of you. Y'all, don't forget to share, pray, take the high road. I love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. I'll see y'all next week, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday. Love y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.